The journey began not in the mountains, but in the noise of a city that had forgotten how to listen. Rohan, a 26-year-old software engineer from Metropolitan City, sat in his office cubicle surrounded by success on paper. A six-figure salary, a penthouse apartment, a luxury car. But each night he returned home to silence that screamed. He had everything, and yet something essential was missing. One evening, Rohan stumbled across an old diary his grandfather had kept, filled with sketches and stories of a monastery in the Himalayas, a place he had once visited after surviving a war. One passage stood out. If the world ever becomes too loud to hear your soul, go to the mountain that listens. That very night, Rohan booked a one-way ticket to Uttarakhand, to a village nestled at the base of the Himalayas. Locals pointed him toward the monastery of Taksang, reachable only by a treacherous trek. He had no map, only a memory. 3 days into the climb, Rohan was exhausted. His expensive hiking gear offered little comfort against the sheer cliffs and thin air. On the fourth morning, at the edge of surrender, he spotted a figure in saffron robes, seated under a cedar tree. The monk, old as time yet light as wind, smiled. "You have come far carrying so much that weighs nothing." Rohan fell to his knees. "I don't even know why I'm here anymore." The monk beckoned. "Then come, sit, let the mountains speak through me." The monk poured tea, steam rising like whispered prayers. "Success," he began, "is often measured by noise. Applause, likes, salaries, titles. But real success is silent. It doesn't shout. It breathes." He pointed to the valley. "Do you hear that?" Rohan strained. "I hear nothing." "Exactly," the monk nodded. "That is the sound of being, not doing. True success begins when you stop chasing and start aligning." He told the tale of a young warrior who conquered kingdoms, only to die alone in a golden palace. He won the world but lost himself. Success isn't what you hold. It's what holds you when all else falls away. That night, the monk lit 3 fires, one large, one medium, and one barely flickering. "These are the fires of purpose, passion, and patience." He explained, "Purpose lights the path. It's your reason. Passion fuels the journey. It gives strength. Patience sustains you. It teaches resilience. Most people burn their lives chasing passion without purpose, or purpose without patience. But success comes when all 3 burn together." He gestured to the smallest flame. "Patience is always the smallest, but it burns the longest." The next morning, the monk led Rohan to a hidden lake, still as glass, high among the clouds. "Look," he said. Rohan saw his reflection, tired eyes, weathered face, but also a calm he hadn't noticed before. "Success," said the monk, "is not found in crowds. It is forged in solitude. Only when you face yourself can you reshape the world." He told the story of a sculptor who carved masterpieces by first meditating in silence for months. Creation begins not in the hands, but in the stillness of the mind. Later, they shared a simple meal. Rohan accidentally dropped his bowl. It shattered. The monk picked up the pieces. "Do you know kintsugi?" Rohan shook his head. "It's the Japanese art of mending broken pottery with gold. The flaw becomes the highlight." He began reassembling the bowl with sap and gold dust. "You are this bowl. Your failures, heartbreaks, they are not things to hide. They are where the light enters." "Success," he said, "is not in being unbroken. It is in being beautifully mended." On the 7th day, the monk handed Rohan a scroll and a feather. "Write what you think success is, then release it." Rohan wrote, "To be known, to be remembered, to be admired." He tied the scroll to the feather. The wind carried it into the abyss. The monk smiled. Only empty hands can receive the truth. Rohan descended from the monastery changed, not with answers, but with clarity. He returned to the city. He kept his job, but shifted focus. He mentored young minds, started a nonprofit, created apps that helped mental health, found love, not in perfection, but in presence. Each morning he lit 3 candles: purpose, passion, patience. And on his desk, a golden mended bowl held tea, silent, whole, and glowing. Rohan, now years older, stood where the monk once sat. He had returned not just as a visitor, but as a vessel for the wisdom he received. A small group of seekers, an anxious entrepreneur, a grieving mother, a lost artist, gathered around him. He welcomed them with warm tea and stories. "One step at a time," he told them. "This mountain has no shortcuts, but neither does life." Each traveler reminded him of a piece of himself from before. Broken, tired, yet hungry to understand. "You don't need to be great to start," he said. but you need to start to be truly great. As he guided them through the same trails, he relearned each lesson from a deeper place. Tucked beneath the soil where they first met, Rohan found a sealed letter addressed to him. If you are reading this, it means you did not come for answers. You came to remember what you already knew. The letter spoke of the monk's own journey, how he was once a prince who gave up a throne after losing his only brother in war. I thought success was building empires. I was wrong. Success is building a soul. Tears slipped down Rohan's face. In the silence of the mountain, the monk still spoke. Back in the city, Rohan faced unexpected storms. His mental health app was copied and marketed by a larger corporation. Investors backed out. The nonprofit was on the brink of collapse. Friends turned cold. His relationship frayed. And yet, he lit the candles. Purpose, passion, patience. Every day. When the world forgets you, remember yourself, he whispered into his tea. He spent nights writing in a journal titled The Mountain Within. It became a manuscript, raw, honest, real. It went viral months later, touching millions. Standing on the stage in front of thousands, Rohan wore no suit, just a simple kurta. He told them stories, not of success, but of breaking, of bowls mended with gold, of valleys that listened, of monks who never asked for applause. If you want to succeed, don't try to impress the world. Try to listen to your own soul. It already knows. The hall fell silent, then erupted, not in noise, but in tears, hugs, stillness. Success had finally come, and it was silent. Papa, the boy asked, what is success? Rohan smiled. Come, I'll show you. Together they planted a seed. Success, he said, is becoming the tree that gives shade long after you are gone. His son looked up, eyes wide. Like that monk? Yes, Rohan said, voice thick with memory. Exactly like him. Years later, Rohan returned to Taksang. The monk was gone, but in his place, etched on stone. Success is not in climbing mountains. It's in becoming the mountain. Success isn't the applause. It isn't the awards, the titles, or the wealth. It's the quiet knowing that you've become who you were meant to be. The mountain doesn't shout. It just stands, strong, steady, and silent. Be the mountain. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who's searching for their path. Tell us in the comments, what does success mean to you today? Subscribe for more stories that awaken the soul.